Why is everyone losing their minds in Paris? It seemed like everyone's throwing a fit in press conferences. Rybakina, who is like infamous for never saying anything, is in trouble for saying something. Combative with the press. The fans are fucking losing their minds, booing people, talking about their mothers. David Goffin, who again is like one of the quietest people on tour, is pissed. Everyone's pissed. Jon, what the hell is going on over there?
The fans are very enthusiastic. They're on top of the action, and David Goffin is from neighboring Belgium, and had the misfortune. Yeah, exactly,
or something.
Yeah, exactly. Stupid Belgians. No, I think with a lot of these issues, right? I mean,
Sorry, Kim.
what are we going to do here, right? We want tennis to be fan friendly, right? We want fans to be engaged. We don't want people sitting on their hands. We don't want golf claps and boring people in luxury suites with their back to the action. But we have some very rambunctious fans, and the response has been rather interesting. We can talk about that. I'm not sure an alcohol ban in the seats is necessarily the way to address this. I mean, personally, look, I don't want to see anyone in physical danger, but what do we love about college tennis? The fans are on top of the action. They're partisan. They're yelling. They're booing. They're saying things about your mother. I don't know. I mean, it's easy for me to say. I'm not sometimes, but not often. I'm not the object of this hostility. If there's a physical issue, it's a totally different conversation. But if fans are cheering and saying mean things, I'm not sure it's I kind of like that atmosphere. Easy to go too far, but I think tennis has some choices to make, right? I mean, if this is all everybody's golf claps and etiquette, I'm not sure that's great for the sport either. Where do you come down?
Well, here, I'll tell you one thing. Alcohol ban goes into effect, and you can't take a drink inside the stadiums anymore. So, one, you're not going to like that bottom line. Two, it's going to be a harder sell for sponsors. Three, that just means I would have to drink way more before I went in. Like, it's a pretty easy thing there's a pretty simple workaround. Just get loaded before you go in and then go boo everyone. I mean, I'm telling you, I could get booed in France. Like, I could do nothing and get booed in France. Like, I remember playing in Lyon, and I think I may have said heads and it came down tails before the match started. And I think I just got smoked. Immediate, slight exaggeration, but only slight. The whistles, we talked about the passive aggressive whistling in full flight, the booing all the time. I'll tell you this, as a fan, you pay your money. You can go. You can boo if you'd like. There's never been a time where I've tuned in as a fan and seen a hyper-partisan crowd and been like, that takes something away from the atmosphere. Not a single time. I've been on the wrong side of it a million times, especially in France. Number one for me, you're going to get booed was France. Also, fans yelling during the points and upset that they can't walk around and do this between points. So two things. Boo us, that's fine. We boo in every sport, right? You say something horrible, like over the line, there should be a talking to, and you should maybe get kicked out. That's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. I think we all agree with that. Here's the deal. I get asked a lot, well, we can move around during baseball games and we can yell during the play and we can do all this. Yes. You can't hear a pitcher throw a baseball. You can't hear a pitcher throw a baseball. Our first tell as tennis players is the sound off of the other person's racket. If they firm it up, if it's off center, if it's a slice, you can hear it's a thud as opposed to a smack. We need to be able to hear the ball off the racket. When someone unleashes a serve, we have less than half a second to react and cover 6 feet both ways. We need every single tell. We need to be able to track the ball that's like that big, and we need to be able to hear how it comes off the racket. We have built in this instinct over the course of our lives and over the course of hours and hours and hours of playing. They put a big green wall in every baseball stadium up to a certain height. Why is that? So that they can track this little ball against the contrast. We have to have that contrast. We can't have people moving. And Aunt Sue in her bright yellow fucking sweater behind us, tossing the ball into it, and we can't see anything, but she got it out. It was for sale, and it looks great. We can't have that. We have to be able to hear it. We have to be able to see it. Boo away. What am I missing?
I think that's the compromise, right? When the ball's in play, it's a precise sport for exactly the reason you just said. The ball's in play, you gotta keep it down. Then we've crossed the line. But otherwise, if the fans are out there, I just maybe 90 minutes ago, it was the Inter-Sebastian match, Sebastian Baez and Sebastian Offner, and there were Austrians and there were fans from Argentina, and they were both yelling at each other, and they were cheering and doing soccer chants, and they had scarves. It was fantastic. It was a great sporting event, great atmosphere, especially at this event, which is also by far and away the smallest in terms of physical size. So the fans are really on top of the court. It's awesome. When the ball's in play, you're absolutely right. To me, that's like in the same category as physical harm. The ball's in play, you can't mess with it. Then we've crossed a line. But otherwise, if fans are yelling at you and they're saying things about your mom and they're doing soccer chants on the changeovers, I'm all for it. And I think, this sport on the one hand says we need X, and then it's like stepping on a balloon, right? We need more engagement. We need to get younger. We need fans to get into it. We don't like these boring crowds and these empty seats. And then you go to a match where there's a soccer game atmosphere and players complain that it's too raucous and rowdy. I think it's pretty simple, right? No physical violence, right? I mean, that's a non-starter. When the ball's in play, you got to shut up for the reasons you just said. And otherwise, within the bounds of civility, let it rip. And the alcohol, you're right. The alcohol is just goofy. So, what are you going to do? They're walking around. There are guys that literally have 3 different kinds of beers and a keg on their backpack. So you could literally, you could do the Barney Gumble. You could put your mouth up to the keg and then walk up the stairs into your seat. That's okay, but you can't. I think that was just sort of a nod to the players, and the tournament says, "Listen, we hear you, and we're making this accommodation, but it's window, it's liquid window dressing."
Yeah, it's like trying to put out a fire with a pillowcase.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, don't you feel like the sport's over have kind of become, fans have become more raucous? I feel like every day you're seeing more from other sports, more fans getting into altercations inside of big football events and baseball events and all those things. And like tennis, I think the reaction is like tennis is like thinks they're on the cusp of like turning into that, and it's like not, right?
Is it more, or do we just have every altercation documented because we all have video cameras in our pockets? Is it more? Like, do we not think like a Yankees Red Sox game in 1987? Do you think that was more civil, or do you think we just didn't see it?
Probably didn't see it.
We all have video cameras in our pockets. We literally, people just walk. As soon as anything starts, you see 12 knuckleheads not doing anything to help. They're just going to like, it's just a different time. Like, and then look at dude, fucking fight, man. And then they post it. Morons. But like the ban, it's like,
like, is it more of like a scolding? Well, you guys aren't being responsible. I'm going to take away your alcohol.
The other thing that's going to come to a point, like it feels like this becomes a thing. And I actually loved what Iga said. I'm starting to really like everything that Iga says. Like she's really she said, listen, she addressed the crowd after and just said, listen, not between first and second serves, not while we're playing. Like we asked that of you. And she framed it where it was like, we're trying to put the best product out there for you. Chef's kiss. Perfect way to say it. Not you don't know how to behave or you can't do this. It's we're trying to put the best product out there for you. This is our life's work. We want to be the best for your viewing pleasure. Help us out.
Yeah. And otherwise go nuts, right? And otherwise,
fantastic.
Otherwise go crazy.
And the other part this is like the frustrating battle that I'm always back and forth with when we as players complain is like, ban alcohol. Yeah. More prize money. Yeah. Make it tougher for the sponsors to say yes. Well, no, we still want more money from them. We just don't give a shit about their activations. Like that doesn't work either. Like you're going to shut down this alcohol silo and piss off a bunch of sponsors. And then you want different ideas to increase revenue because it will eventually go into your pocket. Like, we like the ideas, but we don't get outside of ourselves very often and think like what next steps could be. So I guess my takeaways are, I don't know, like maybe not long cocktails, maybe just order shots. That maybe that'll fix that. That always fixes the problem.